John Fredericks, he's America's Godzilla of truth. All week long, he's world-renowned for his proficient proclivity to prophesy the people's political picks with pinpoint precision.
Yeah, baby!
Then, on the weekends, he gets with the guys that are pretty wise, and Godzilla wins. Godzilla Wins, the sports picking show for winning dough. Money lines, parlays, over-under, the best plays. You choose the game, Godzilla picks the winners. Get expert analysis, exclusive insights, and have a little fun. When the game is on your mind and money's on the line, Godzilla Wins is your guide to picking winners. Godzilla Wins, on the screens of your TV and favorite devices, commanding radio airwaves far and wide. Before you make that play, hear what the Godzilla crew has to say. Presented by WestVirginiaSportsNation.com, it's time for Godzilla Wins, all across the John Fredericks Media Network. Oh yeah,
for entertainment purposes only.
Welcome everybody to the latest episode of Godzilla Wins. We have a loaded Saturday. We got Rory McIlroy chasing back-to-back green jackets with a historic lead. The Big Ten just swept both basketball titles. Buffalo is back in the NHL playoffs. The Pittsburgh Pirates might have a team and a star in Connor Griffin to go along with Paul Skeens. We've got all that and much more. WV Sports Nation is one of our sponsors. Also, WV The Torch. We do some gambling. So before I introduce this wonderful panel, let me give you a little bit of advice if you have a gambling problem. Call 1-800-GAMBLER. That's 1-800-426-2537. That's Colorado, Illinois, Indiana, Louisiana, Maryland, Michigan, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia, and Wyoming. 1-800-327-5050 or visit gamblinghelpline-ma.org in Massachusetts. Call 877-G-HOPE-NY, text HOPE-NY. That's 467-369 in New York. 1-800-NEXT-STEP in Arizona. ccpg.org in Connecticut, 1-800-BETS-OFF in Iowa, or visit opgr.org. All right. Well, right now we got Vince Mayoko, Brendan Statler. I'm your host today, Mitch Rogers. We will be joined by Jay Delsing, John Fredericks, Chris Saxman. We've got the whole gang coming in. But, man, right when you think the sports landscape is slowing down a little bit, NCAA basketball ends, but then all of a sudden everything takes precedence that we love here, NHL, baseball, but the Masters. Jay Delsing, it's been so long, brother. It's been forever. I miss you, my man. I miss you.
What's up, Jay?
Yeah, guys, it's great to see you. What a week. I'm honored to be with you. The Masters. Let's go. What are we going to talk about today?
And I know a lot of people that watch this network know who Jay Delsing is, former PGA professional. He is when Jack told me you were on the show, I said, thank God, because I know we had to go a lot of Masters talk. We're banned from talking the NBA, so we got to do a lot of Masters on here. John, I mean, you are blinging out there. I mean, with this bus, you're bright. What's going on? Where are you at? What's going on with you?
So right now I'm in Lynchburg, Virginia. This is day one of our Vote No on Rigged Maps bus tour. And I hope you, Mitch, and your family all get out by April 21st and vote no against these.
I almost put a sign up. I'm not a sign guy, but I know,
but it's one of the most, I don't want to get into politics, but this is one of the most egregious things that I've ever seen in my life. You got, they're trying to basically take 4 Republican seats away. Everyone is gerrymandered, starts in Fairfax, goes down to the Eastern Shore. I mean, it's just absurd beyond belief. So we got a 10-day bus tour going. So we start today in Lynchburg. We got the former governor here, bunch of the Congress people involved. So it's going to be a big rally. Then we go to James Madison right after this in the Shenandoah Valley, and then you can follow us. Just go to VoteNoBusTour.com. VoteNoBusTour.com if you're in Virginia. That's where I am today.
Very good. We bring Vince Mayoko, Taft College baseball coach. Look at the hats. I was wearing your hat the other day, and somebody has requested me to request one from you. I said, I don't know. He sent a lot of free hats out there. But Coach Vince, hats are popular. You're even more popular with all your insights. You got Brendan Statler, one of the best writers we have for WVSportsNation.com. That is the premier website for all of West Virginia University sports. So we have a very talented panel. I don't know why you let me do this, corral you guys, but I accept it. It's an honor. And man, I cannot wait for this show to end, soccer to end for my girls. And then I want to enjoy soccer. These moments are going fast, obviously, with my daughters, but the Masters, I just want to sit on the couch and watch this lead. And Jay, I'll bring you right in here too. So my father and I believe it was 2011. I'm from Virginia, so we went to Congressional and we saw Rory win his first major, that U.S. Open, where it was very similar to what he's looking at right now, where he took a major lead into moving day. He built on that for the U.S. Open, and all of a sudden we came in on a Sunday. He had a 10-stroke lead rolling into there. It very well could be this, Jay. It is a loaded leaderboard. Patrick Reed, obviously, he's back off of live, back to the PGA. He is a former Masters champ. He's played excellent. Sam Burns, Fleetwood, Rose. But Jay, is anyone catching McIlroy if he's at his best?
I'm good.
No, not a chance. If he's at his best, Mitchie, it's over, but it's not over. We've seen it before. We saw what he did, I think, in 2011. What Rory did last year, you guys, was one of the craziest Masters I've ever seen. I played a lot of really lousy golf and a lot of little in-between golf. What he did in that one final round was like, I mean, I've never had more heartache in my life. Everyone wanted him to win, to become part of the Grand Slam. I mean, how about that club? And the fact that he got it done somehow. I've never seen better shots and worse shots by the same guy in the same day. You know, so the deal with Augusta is that if your putter starts getting a little bit
plug that in for me.
We have trouble.
Yeah,
we got trouble because those greens are crazy intense. And the funny thing is, Rory is second. No, I think he's either second or third to last, Mitch, in driving accuracy.
He's 90 out of 91.
All over the place. Yeah.
There's 91 people in the field. He was 90th in accuracy, and he's he birdied 6 of his final 7 holes. It's just amazing. Coach Vince, I absolutely love the Masters. I want it to be a little competitive, just to either I want it to be competitive or blow the field out. I want to see history made. But birding 6 out of 7, he has the largest lead going into a Saturday, a six-stroke advantage. Vince, are you rooting for the runaway? Are you rooting for greatness? The back-to-back Masters. There's not that many people that have 2 jackets. Or are we trying to get some competitiveness in this field?
Well, I would never wish ill will on anybody, but I want a competitive Sunday. I think, you know, if Rory continues to lap the field and by the 6th or 7th hole on Sunday, it is over. I think CBS will lose a lot of viewership, that's for sure. But it's the Masters, and no lead is safe. And I've it's one of my bucket list items. I want to go to the Masters. And Jay, I know that, you know, the beauty that we see of Augusta on TV probably does it no good compared to when you're there. Can you give us a kind of an idea of what, and not necessarily at the Masters tournament, but just the presence of Augusta, the beauty of it, and the difficulty with the hills and all the other attributes that wonderful course has?
Yeah, Vince, you hit the nail on the head, man. The first of all, the place is pristine. Every single blade of grass is the same length. It's this ridiculous color of green that doesn't even look real. There's not a cigarette butt on the ground. There's not a piece of trash. The azaleas are always blooming. If you get a storm that comes in, Vince, and it will blow some of the azaleas, the petals off the azaleas, they'll replace them the next day. They've got like this crazy nursery right down the road where they bring stuff in every day if it doesn't look beautiful. And the thing that blew me away the very first time that I set foot on the grounds was how much undulation and how hilly the place is. From the 10th tee, which is way up top by the clubhouse, there's a putting green there. The 18th green is close. The 9th green is close. The downhillness of that hole blew me away. I mean, it's like 8-9 stories from top to bottom, and it moves quite a bit from right to left. So the same, if you're going down that much on number 10, Vince, you're coming up that much on 18, and it's really hard to see on TV. But what really, from a player's perspective, besides the uneven lies that make it difficult, is the greens are all pushed up, and the front edges, if you don't carry the front edges, like on the 9th hole, if you hit it if you don't carry the false front, or if you put a shot in there that's got too much spin on it, Vince, it'll roll 50 yards. It'll roll all the way back almost to the crosswalk where all the patrons cross. So there's that on probably 6 or 7 holes on the entire golf course. So your driving is important, but your second shot game at Augusta gives you the opportunity to try to make some birdies. And if you hit the ball in the right spots, it rewards you. If you don't, man, hold on, because you can't even some of them, you can't even keep your ball on the green.
That's why I love when these people post this. Hey, what would an 18 index do? Or what would a scramble tournament do? Could they break par? I'm like, there is no chance you're breaking
You'd
par.
start on Saturday and finish on Tuesday. You know, your ball would never stop. The ball would just keep going. We when we were doing the U.S. Open at Oakmont, Joel Klatt is a great guy. He does football for Fox. He's a great guy.
Yeah.
He's a 3 handicap. And he almost got into a fight with we former players when we told him he couldn't break 90 at Oakmont. We wanted to say 100, but we dummied it down 10 strokes. And he was like, what are you talking about? And I said, dude, when you have to mark your ball and you've got this long a putt and you've got to hit this putt outside the hole to get it to break in, it's an entirely different deal. And there's no gimmies. You got to put them all out. So,
and if you put any pressure, I mean, if you let someone go out by themselves, maybe whether there's any pressure. Brendan, I don't know if you're much of a golfer or not, but I know you root for greatness in sports. Rory McIlroy is going for, obviously last year got that monkey off his back, and now he's trying to go for real history here. Are you rooting for the runaway or a little competitiveness on Sunday?
I'm a lot like Coach Vince. I want to see a little more competition because I think when there's a runaway in any kind of sport, I don't know if the term losing interest is the appropriate term, but it's not as interesting when it's a runaway. I mean, I'm impressed with what McIlroy has done. I mean, he's one of the best golfers that I've ever seen. Not that I watch golf a lot, so take that for what it is, but what he's done so far this tournament and even last tournament has been very impressive. But I would like to see the gap closed a little bit and see a little more competition towards the end. But regardless, excited to watch the rest. Excited to start watching again today.
That seems pretty natural there, Chris, right? Like you want it to be a little competitive on Sunday, but also Rory pulls away all of a sudden, in a world where now Tiger Woods seems further and further away than ever. We need some greatness in here. We've had so many people come close. You've had Jordan Spieth make a run. You've had Rory make a run, the aforementioned what I talked about, in the early 2010s. But no one seemed to do that. Scotty Scheffler's close, but now he's struggling a little bit, just a little. But Chris, what are you rooting for here? Some Rory greatness or the field getting more competitive?
I'm just rooting for great golf. Regardless of the scores, who catches Rory, I want everyone to play to their best ability. The course is so challenging. I love, as Jay was pointing out, I love seeing how difficult the game is. Right? Because Jay talks about the 3 handicap going to Oakmont. A friend of mine was scratch, and he went to Pine Valley. And the caddy asked him when he was putting his tee in the ground, he goes, Mr. Richards, what's your handicap? He goes, actually, I'm scratch, kind of like being all humble about it, right? And he goes, well, that's great, Mr. Richards. Are you prepared to shoot 85 today?
Right.
And he said, what? He said, this is a very difficult course, Mr. Richards, and he shot 85. And it's the most humbling game there is because it's just you and the damn ball and the course. So I like just seeing excellence no matter where it is and how it manifests itself. I mean, I picked Rory to win it last week. I hope that comes true just on that basis because I think he's far more relaxed and doesn't have nearly the pressure he did last year. So I just want to see a great golf. I want to see Augusta in all its glory with no clouds in the sky and just pristine Augusta-ness, and that's just what I look forward to in this weekend, the kick the heels up, to throw on the couch, take a nap somewhere in between. This is the greatness of this weekend.
Yeah, and absolutely. And when you can see somebody absolutely just turn it on and get into like a flow state with every other part of his game except for his drive, but it was enough to get 6 out of 7 birdies. And you're right, though. Golf is all about perspective. But somebody asked me what my best round is, and I'm not a good golfer by any means, but it's a 97 Robert Trent Jones PGA course, Lake Manassas. Because there was no gimmies, nothing. We were, it was the hardest
Real
golf
golf,
I'd ever
baby.
done. And it was
Yeah.
just amazing.
And those memories stay with you forever. I started out one day. I took the guys from work one day. We went out and played our little golf course in Stanton. I started out birdie, eagle, birdie, and I was like, oh, this is not happening. And the wheels came right off.
And then it was not happening. Yeah, I know.
And the guys at work were like, you must play a lot. I'm like, no, guys, I really don't play a lot. You'll see.
You listen to Godzilla Wins. We got a revolving door. We got people coming in and out of the feed. Dan Hobgood is here right now. John Richards is bouncing in and out. I don't know. We have some Game of Thrones things in the other parts of the screen. I don't know what's happening right now. Dan, Masters weekend. I know once college basketball ends, football ends a couple months ago, people call it the dead zone. There's no dead zone, man. Masters weekend.
This is my favorite. This is my favorite week of the year.
Let's go.
You got baseball in full swing. You got the end of the Final Four. You got Masters going on. I'm done with my 16-hour work days for the weeks.
There we go.
I'm ready to sit in front of my in front of my TV on my couch and watch it.
Whoa. Don't blame the 16-hour work days on our company. That is not our doing. That's your choice.
That is me. That's
your choice, dude. That's not what we make you do.
That's on me.
That's on me. You got an 8, 9, 10-hour day like every other executive in America. Right?
That's true.
There's no 16-hour day in our company.
That's true.
Except if you're Michael Coleman, then it's 24 hours, 7 days.
That's true. Yeah. Michael Coleman, who's on the job right now. What a guy. What a guy. Michael Coleman's amazing.
Shout out.
But yeah, it's boy, where would I be without him in the last couple of weeks? But yeah, I'm looking forward to sitting down and on the couch, as they might say in Pittsburgh, the couch, and watching the TV. And yeah, I'm just excited it's gonna be for this weekend. So yeah.
John, what are you doing now? So, John, how are you able to watch it? Is there a TV in your bus? What are you doing here? Are you just too busy catching highlights?
We got satellite TV here. We go into the nicest TV setups. We got TVs all over the place. So yeah, we're going to be tuned into that. Hey, somebody brought baseball up. Let me just make an announcement. Our network in Philadelphia, WJFP, AM 740 and FM 102.3. Starting 1 week from Monday. 1 week from Monday, we are picking up the New York Yankees. So the Yankees will be broadcast on WJFP, AM, FM, AM 740 in Philadelphia. So if you're around there, Wilmington, and you want to catch the Yankees, we'll be carrying them starting 1 week from tomorrow.
Whoa, Jay, we're taking on a new market. New York and Philly? I don't know.
Let's go.
Let's go.
I'm sweating over here. Any haters out there? Bryson DeChambeau. So Bryson DeChambeau, a little rivalry with Rory last year, had a chance to save his day and at least make the cut. And Jay, he decided to do the exact opposite, blew it out of a bunker, went for a triple bogey, and that ended his Masters run.
It was hard to watch because I just like him in the field. He brings. There's no telling what he might bring. It's what Coach was talking about earlier, though. What you can't appreciate at Augusta is the shot on 18. The first shot on 18 was incredibly difficult on a downslope of a bunker and a probably a 12, 14 foot face on it that he's got to get out and doesn't get out. And then the next one, he definitely gets out, and he thinks he's kept it underneath the hole to give him, and it rolls off the green and another 12 yards down the fairway. So that golf course just can absolutely bite you at any given time. I don't remember, guys, when we've seen the weather so good where there's not rain chances. Usually and I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but at Augusta, they have this system called a sub-air system. So it's like a vacuum cleaner underneath every green. So when it rains, they're able to suck moisture out of the grass and get the greens more to where they want if Mother Nature decides to play through. But this week, it looks like we're going to get just absolutely pristine conditions, and we haven't had any wind. And so that's why you're seeing shots like you saw yesterday on 12. People were taking advantage of 12, and you don't see that very often.
Nope.
And so, there's still a lot of golf to be played. There's going to be blood. It's Augusta.
There is. Blood. Do y'all think the groundskeepers, when they turn that on, are doing like the Spaceballs? They're all like, suck, suck.
Oh yeah,
I bet you they are.
That's a great pop culture
as long as
reference.
it doesn't go from suck to blow, you know.
I bet you they are. All right. I always get nervous when John is in or out. John, should I do a Healthy Cell read, or do you want to tell everybody about Healthy Cell?
No, you'll go ahead and do it.
Oh man, this is like he's never been here.
No pressure, Mitch.
Hey, if you're tired of choking down pills every morning, you got to check out Healthy Cell. These are next level liquid vitamins packed with nutrients your body can actually absorb. No pills, no hassle, just tear, squeeze, and go. They taste great. They're easy on your stomach, and they're built to support everything from energy to immune health. Healthy Cell. Upgrade your daily routine and start feeling the difference, John. I came up with that on the fly, but Healthy Cell is great, right, John? One of your best, keeps you going, keeps your bus tour rolling.
I mean, look, you got to stay healthy and you got to get a good night's sleep. I took my REM sleep last night. Larry, my driver. Hey, Larry, come on in here. Let's all meet Larry. He's been with me how many? 7 years. This is Larry Kelly's been here 7 years. Larry. He's our driver.
Yeah, Larry.
Helps me with the camera. That's Larry. He's the man. Me and Larry, we do our REM sleep at night, babe. We go right out. What time we go to bed last night? Midnight, right? Midnight, went right to bed, turned the Astro game off after they were losing 9-3. They suck. And so we went to bed, but good job. All right. Anyway, Larry Kelly,
there's not
driver,
much to do.
7 years.
There's not much to do in Lynchburg. The Lynchburg nightlife, I mean, you may be able to find a speakeasy somewhere, in the church.
Not much going on here. Everything closes at 9 o'clock.
Yes, yeah.
But
the irony of the university being called Liberty in Lynchburg.
except for Biscuitville, which closes at 2 p.m.
There's no liberty here. But we have a rolling speakeasy right on this bus. I mean, we got more liquor in this thing. I could open up a bar, have it open for 2 weeks without ever replenishing it. And anybody that comes by and says, "Hey, Frederick, I want to see you at bus. What can I bring you?" We say, "Oh, just a bottle of Grey Goose vodka." Well, after like 50 of these, this thing is piled up in the back. I mean, I could sell the bottles and retire. That's how much I got. We'll never run out. It's a bottomless pit.
I love it. Hey, when the Masters, I normally like to, I like to get patriotic. I like to, root for the United States a lot of the times. But man, Coach Vince, when it's Patrick Reed, it's a tough one. It's a tough sell. I'm the only one in my crew that really likes him, but he's been a little
Captain
controversial.
America?
Captain America, not a lot of Americans like Captain America, Coach Vince. So maybe it's Sam Burns that we're rooting for. Who are we rooting for to maybe try to catch old Rory?
Well, I'm looking at the current odds here, and obviously McIlroy is far and away the favorite at minus 250. You mentioned Patrick Reed. Patrick Reed is actually the next closest at 1,500 plus 1,500. So you start looking at the leaderboard. If somebody gets hot over the next 36 and Rory comes back down to earth, there's some great buys here. I like Tommy Fleetwood, and he's played 2 pretty good rounds of golf. He's at plus 1,800. And there's some good other names on this list that I think that are worth kind of taking a look at. When Rory is far and away the favorite as he is at minus 250, it makes you wonder, is there going to be a competitive Sunday? The one thing about golf, and I'm glad Jay's on this broadcast. It's the only sport. It obviously comes with a price tag, but none of us will be able to play a baseball game at Dodger Stadium or at Yankee Stadium, but we all, in most instances, spend a little money and play a PGA course. Mm-hmm. And I had the opportunity a couple of years ago in Hawaii to play the Plantation course, where the Century tournament is held every year, and it wasn't held this year. And I'm on hole 12, the famous hole that Dustin Johnson carried 433 yards and to help him win the Century tournament in 2018. And I'm looking where I'm not teeing off at 433. I'm probably at 370, 380. And I'm looking behind me, and I'm wondering, how in the heck can any human being drive par 433. So it really gives us novice, I don't know, beginner golfers a true understanding that we're playing on a Dodger Stadium or a Yankee Stadium, that no baseball player will have an opportunity to do that unless they make it to the major league. So it really puts things in perspective with these golf courses and the PGA courses. That, my goodness, I mean, the amount of talent it takes to be competitive on a PGA blowing, to be quite honest.
Yeah. It's special to have that ability to do that. You're right. And just to be able to go to Augusta, and I've went on for a practice round, I don't know, 10 years or so ago, and it was just mind-boggling. The difference you see in person, and you can't understand how hard it is until you play it, right? I think Jay would probably back me up, because when you're there, you're like, okay, I see it. It's well groomed. It's a great course, much hillier than you expect. It's far hillier in person. But I do have a little story. I was playing with a guy talking about the ability to go on the course, and he was a bottled water guy up from Vermont. We're playing in a scramble for one of our trade association captain's choice deals. And he goes, "Oh, I played Augusta almost." We're like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Well, we all got invited down to play, and you can't play Augusta unless you play with a member. And three of us are there. You know, we warm up, we're ready to go. Biggest day of our golfing lives." And these guys are like serious into golf, and they're on the tee box on number one. And the starter comes up and goes, "Sorry, gentlemen, the member, I forget what his name was, Dr. So-and-so, has to go into surgery. There was a major accident on Interstate 20. And he won't be able to join you today." And they go, "Well, that's okay." And they go, "I don't think you understand.
You have to leave.
You have to leave." This man, and I get chills thinking about it, this man had the ball on the tee, looking down number one in Augusta going, "I flew down from Vermont to play Augusta, and I can't play it."
You couldn't get Condoleezza Rice if she wasn't in the lobby somewhere.
Yeah.
Hey, Condi, come on.
This is like 25 years or so ago. This is before they had women. And he was just, I could just see the pain in his face describing this day and this outcome to him. He was like, "You just don't understand what it's like to sit down." No, I don't know what it's like.
Moonlight Graham from Field of Dreams or something.
No, yeah.
Can you imagine?
It is funny because, you know, obviously when you talk about growing the golf game, you're talking about, you know, youth camps and starting them young, but there's part of growing the golf game for us older guys too, that you can go and play those courses. Jay, what's it like? So, I mean, obviously in this major, it's at the same venue every year. So which is kind of makes it amazing, because you can see people on good days when it's, you know, when the conditions are right, really take advantage of this course. But you can see people the year before that kill the course, but then the next year, same damn course, same damn conditions, and they can't figure it out. There's just something magical or mystical about this course, even though they play it a lot.
Well, yeah, because guys, every year anyone knows where we're going to be first week of April. We're going to Augusta. This is the only major championship venue that doesn't change. And guys, everyone in the field knows where the flagstick's going to be on the third day on this hole. This is the thing that messes with your mind more than anything, because when you know, the U.S. Open will play at Pebble Beach, and then it'll go to Oakmont, Shinnecock. It'll move around. Same with the Open Championship, and same with the PGA. This place is there. We know what to expect. There's slight changes, but when you watch, this is the only place where you go watch, and everybody is prepping the same way. Everybody is prepping certain holes where they know where to hit it, where they know that where they can hit it, and it just messes with your mind even more. So it's like, who can do it when they need it now, one time? You know, I watched the sixth green. It doesn't get talked about much, but it's a downhill par three. It's 195 yards. Most of the players hit an 8-iron, and it's low in the front, high in the back, and the top shelf is so extreme. And there's a couple of places where you can miss it and be okay. Otherwise, it's like instant bogey or double bogey. And all the guys are practicing from the same bad area, trying to see if there's a way to mitigate, you know, save a stroke or two. And then what happens is that you hit it over there and it all goes wrong. You know, I just watched it happen time and time again. And so it's amazing. It really is amazing. And the course is in such good shape, and you feel like my game is ready. And you go out there and shoot. Look what Rahm did. I mean, Rahm's won the last two the last tournament he played in. He's 4 top 3 finishes, whatever. And I mean, Brandel said it beautifully. He goes, it looks like every drive he was so out of sorts. And I know that's from the competition, you guys. That Live is just not competitive enough for these guys. Look at, I mean, DeChambeau just looked completely
Koepka
wrong.
Yeah.
Koepka
looks good. Well, that's what I was going to.
Sneaky.
Yeah, he is sneaky. And everyone, you listen to the Godzilla Win Show. We're at 9:30 right now. We're doing a lot of Masters talk today, but we have to because we have Jay Delsing, former PGA player, on the show. And Jay, I want to ask you really quick, what do you do mentally? Because if you took Rory out of this field, there's a lot of good scores. I mean, 6 under is where a normal score for rolling into a Saturday. But like the aforementioned Koepka's 3 under. You've got Cam Young playing his butt off, but he's 4 under, but he's with Rory all day. Fleetwood, Burns, Rose, they're all in this mix. From a mindset for them, do they just have to kind of not look at Rory's score and just plug along and say, hey, maybe second's where it's at this week?
Most of the time, though, Mitch, when you're playing, you don't want to know. You don't want to look at Rory's score. We all know if Rory goes out and plays well, this thing's going to be over, and not probably very exciting because nobody really gives a damn or ever remembers who finishes second.
Right.
So, but as a player, what you're going to go do is you've got to plan for the course. You're going to get there a couple hours early, get your workout in, check the weather, check the conditions. And then you're going to go after it the way you can. You may make a couple of different decisions on the par 5s that you may not, especially 13 and 15 where there's water. You may say, hey, look it, I've got a chance here. I told myself, what we do, you guys, is we set up different parameters. If I don't have X amount of yardage or less in on this hole, I'm not going to go for this for these 2 flag sticks or whatever the case may be. But 13, you're hitting your second shot off a hill like this. Rays Creek goes left and then comes back around the green to the right. And your instinct when the ball above your feet is to hook the hell out of it. And so all the good players are holding on the face. Like you saw Scotty, he held on to it, hit it a little right, and it wound up going into the creek, which, all the fans would go, well, just hook it over there to the left. You'll be better off. Not really. You're going to make a bogey over there as well. So the players are going to have their plan, and then hopefully they can make some putts. And the thing that you do see at Augusta all the time is somebody is figuring it out. Like yesterday, Terrell hadn't had a great round, bogeyed 18, but still shot 6 under. He was down the road and going to miss the cut. Same with someone else came to 18 and made a bogey, but it's out there. I mean, we saw in 86. Jack, shoot 31 on the back 9 and just incredibly win his 6th Masters. So there's low scores out there, but the tournament sits squarely on Rory's shoulders. It's totally up to him.
Yeah, but there's so much trouble. Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be really tough for anybody to get to 12 under par from where they are now.
No, he's going to have to regress. He's going to have to come back to the field a little bit.
It's his to lose, I think, at this point. You have to say that, right? You just have to say that. I mean, but Jay, how aggressive can those players in the 4, 5, and 6 under really be today? Today is the day, right? They got to make a move. If Rory shoots, just say 2 under, at 14 under, there's just not that many shots left on the course.
Right. Well, you've got to pick your spots, Chris, and it's interesting because there's lots of holes to make birdies on. The par 5s are where everybody looks at because they're reachable for everybody in the field. But the execution it comes down to execution, as you know. I mean, every single guy knows what he wants to do. What kind of game is he going to have? Because the pressure matters, and it changes you. The feeling of standing on the first tee where you need to be soft, you need to be smooth. Here's what you want to think about. But every muscle in your body wants to go to 12, and your brain's trying to back you down. It's crazy. It's like, it's a pitcher who's got serious heat but if he overthrows, he walks everybody, or he doesn't hit his spots. And so it's, how do you get into that mindset to let you perform like that? And it's really, you guys, you got to get away from the results. You got to get into the processes. It's a really difficult thing to do.
That'd be so much fun. It sounds like so much fun. Vince, Chris, and John, no one brings up second place in tournaments until everybody tries to bring up Jack Nicklaus as the greatest golfer. Then all of a sudden we hear about second place all day long. So whatever. It's you pick and choose when you guys figure out when to count second place. Right, John? Tiger Woods, y'all. Tiger Woods. John, do you use do you use the term lived hard? I figure that has to be your term. Do you like the live players?
No, I don't, because like you guys said, there's not the quality competition that you get within the PGA, and you can see it playing out. I'm not an avid golf fan like you guys, just a cursory viewer, and it looks like the people that are playing in that realm, don't get the sharpened competition, and then they come to something like this, and they just don't do very well. So I think competition matters. And I did start the word libtard. When I first said that, my wife Ann hated it, told me to stop it. But I did it anyway. And now it's caught on across the country and everybody says it. So, it is what it is.
I was sneaking in live.
Oh, I said, I didn't hear you. Libtard.
I was keeping us.
I don't look.
I was keeping us above board, if you will.
They make a lot of money on it. I know what the Saudis have done, but I don't think anybody can argue with me. Those that are playing in that atmosphere are not doing very well when you get to something like the Masters. And I think it's like pitching in Double-A baseball, and then you have to face Juan Soto. I mean, it's just not the same.
It is tough. Hey, Brendan, Live was created to bring in the youth, if you will, your generation. Shorts, rock and roll, rap music, just rolling around the course. Oh, we don't want to do 4 rounds. We're lazy over here. Let's do 3. We're going to bring in these youngins. Brendan, has it wrapped you into the game? Has it worked?
No, it has not. And but
damn it, Saudis.
But to be fair, like John, I'm not somebody that watches golf on a regular basis, so maybe I'm not the fair person to ask that. But I haven't heard anyone say that they prefer it over PGA, so I haven't really followed how well it's doing. So I'm not really the right person to ask. An opinion on that, I guess.
Well, no, you are. It didn't work.
This is a move by the Saudis to normalize or westernize or get good with Western culture, so that they could be more, embraced by the rest of the world. I mean, the Saudis are dumping tens of billions of dollars into tourism, diversifying their economic portfolio, and this was a part of it. And okay. It's a lot like what happened with the WFL or the USFL in football, or the American Hockey League back in the World Hockey League back in the day. It's not unhealthy. It's good competition between markets, but in the end of the day, the Masters is going to win out. The U.S. Open is going to win out. The British Open is going to win out. It's just so deeply wound in the culture that you just can't penetrate that by doing something cool and unique like a 54 whole tournament with some of the players. I mean, it's just not working out.
Yeah, and Dan, from our perspective, from the media perspective, at least to provide some good storylines out there, so we can have stuff out there. I want to bring up this: ESPN's coverage has been criticized, to say the least. They're taking a Masters tournament that doesn't need much. It kind of sells itself. It's perfectly run. But for some reason, they're bringing in the Travis Kelce's, comedians onto the coverage. Dan, what's your perspective on that stuff? Why did ESPN need to muck the works up?
Change the S in ESPN to a $sign. What do you know? But that's what they do. I mean, Disney and ESPN very much about self promotion. They'll promote their products. I'm surprised that Pat McAfee isn't out on the course in a You know?
They denied him.
He
talked about
he's nothing against that Yinzer, but yeah, it's I mean this is what they do. It's a lot of the cross pollination, cross promotion of their own product, sell the product, and look, I get it. I mean it's the business, but sometimes there's a tasteful happy medium, and ESPN, Disney, they tend to cross that line a lot. Yeah, the thing that people liked about the Masters for the longest time, and I speak, I guess especially about CBS's weekend coverage, is the limited commercial interruptions, the piano music, the beautiful vistas, the shots of Augusta, of Amen Corner. That's what people tune in for. Right. It's been historically a very unusual, a unique television experience, and I think that you want to try to preserve that as much as possible, because that's this event's signature.
Yeah. Well, they're turning it in. They're turning the purity, which is what drives it, into a cross between the Savannah Bananas and the Harlem Globetrotters. I mean, it's like ridiculous. Like I was flipping the channels. Larry and I were just trying to, getting prepared for the show, find some highlights after the Astros are getting blown out because we suck. And then we got an ESPN, and it's like a clown show. It's like the Comedy Channel, and it's like I just want somebody telling me what happened. Instead, I get all this comedy and this and that and all the things they're doing. It's like it's the Masters. Just tell us what's going on. Show me the shots that are made so I can get a recap, do an analysis. But no, right. They got all these jokers on, and I don't know. They're trying to pull other people in, but I mean, I'm not a golf fan, so I don't watch it. But what I watch on ESPN, I thought was stupid.
Yeah, there's a line from Austin Powers, Dr. Evil. Scott, you just don't get it, do you? And
Scott.
It's just
you just don't get it, do you, Scott?
Like, and my dad has a saying, Christopher, I don't care and I don't have to care. People, when you look at how successful Augusta golf course is and the Masters, you stop touching it. Like they're doing it well. It is pristine. They do everything well. They are so dialed in on every aspect of the game, and stop over engineering it and over broadcasting it and over reporting on it. Just let the damn game play itself out and enjoy it.
That's just the natural storyline play.
Stop.
Coach Vince, I want to throw this one over to you, and then we'll let Jay round out our Masters coverage. Got Jay Delsing right after this. Jay Delsing Golf Show, PGA professional. Coach Vince, Rory and his legacy. I think Rory is going for much more than to be a top 5, top 10 guy. I think he is now locked in on, not that he always wasn't, but I think there's a real chance for him to move up that top tier echelon and become a top 3 or 4 guy. He's got plenty of time. He's the longest hitter in the field. It seems like when he's on all cylinders, there's nothing that can hold him back. Does he have a chance to be one of the top 5 of all time?
He's on the verge of it, especially if he laps the field in this one. We talk about Tiger Woods' U.S. Open win at Pebble Beach, and where he more than lapped the field, quadrupled the field. And if Rory stays on this momentum swing that he's got going now on Saturday and Sunday, and he wins by 6, 7, 8 strokes at the Masters at Augusta, that's legendary stuff. It really does. And you really think about Rory. I mean, he's a prodigy. I mean, we look back, us older people on this panel look back when Tiger Woods was, a little kid and he was being marketed, and Dad, Earl was he was famous before he went to Stanford University by people that really understood the game. And Rory was a lot like that in himself as well, too, as a young lad growing up in Northern Ireland. And then all of a sudden, he becomes a professional golfer, and he has that part of his career where it's like, man, there's just he's so good. Why isn't he winning the big events? And obviously now we speak here in 2026 where he has the career Grand Slam. He's looking at going back to back in the Masters. That puts you in rarefied air right there.
Yeah, Jay, and I don't want to throw that around lightly. We're talking about Jack Nicklaus, Tiger Woods, Bobby Jones, Ben Hogan's of the world. Does he have a chance to get up there? He's got plenty of time in his career.
Yeah, it'll be real interesting. He certainly has the game for it. Does he have the drive for it? Does he? It makes you kind of wonder, how many major championships does he win? How many does Phil win if Tiger's not around? When it comes to just overall timing and bad luck or whatever you want to call it, because there's only one guy that wins, and they do bring up your record in major championships if you're Jack Nicklaus because you finished second like 19 times or something crazy like that. But it's fun to watch, and it's fun to speculate, because I really don't know what to expect from Rory. Because there are times where you see he's really the most relatable superstar to almost all of us, because look at last year's round. He had 360-yard tee shots and then missed 3 putts this long. We can all relate to missing our 3-footers, and then he'd hit a 7-iron 212 yards over the creek, over the water at 15, another 4 feet, and missed the putt. And I was like, man, what are we going to do? Where are we going with this? So
that was right.
He's extremely popular. He's up until the Ryder Cup and some of the stuff that happened at the Ryder Cup, especially with some sponsorship things. Most of the U.S. players were really fans of Rory, not so much anymore. Yeah. But his game speaks for himself. It speaks for himself. And so what's ironic, you guys, is though he has the same amount of major championship wins as Brooks Koepka. And no one ever talks about Koepka as being one of the top 5 guys of all time. But if you keep knocking off majors like these guys do, it's inevitable, right? Because it's just not that easy to do. There's only 4, and it's the golf courses. I can't even explain to you how. First of all, they're so long. I mean, Augusta is 7,600 yards long.
God,
Phil had some good. Phil was complaining about about now taking away the mystique of some of these holes in Augusta because they're too long.
Phil knows everything now. You got to remember. We all need to ask Phil what to do, because
I know I got my conspiracy theory hat on, guys. And Chris, I'll let you chime in on this. Do you think Phil purposely didn't come because the dinner was with Rory to the? And Rory was there without Tiger and Phil.
He was probably stuck in Vegas if
couldn't get out.
But you look, Rory won the U.S. Open at the first time at the age of 22.
Yeah.
I mean, just think about that. 22, the U.S. Open. He's only 36. And he is if he is in the prime of his career, you could be looking at one of the top 5 of all time, but that's a tough top 5 to crack. Let's not kid ourselves.
Yeah, I'm looking at the list right now, Chris.
It's extraordinary. But also let's give the man due. Tiger Woods told his son Charlie to model his swing not after himself, but after Rory McIlroy's swing. Just I at this stage of a guy's career, let it roll, let it play out. If he gets there, he gets there. I just like watching that guy play golf. And the human element last year, the drama of we've all had a great shot, and you're like, oh, this is going to be a great hole. Wheels come off, right? You missed a putt. I had a 4-foot birdie putt. Missed it. You just want to kill yourself when you do that. I mean, I had a putt. This friend of mine, I missed this putt, pushed it. It was 3 or 4 feet tops, and I almost hauled out for the hole in one. And my playing partner said, "How is that club still in your hand? I'll never know." It's such a humbling game. It's wonderful, and I love seeing a guy scull one out of the bunker to another bunker. I mean, I love that. I love that for me, not for the game, but for me.
Oh, you're a fan of Bryson on 18 yesterday. That's perfect.
I was.
He has some of the greatest sand shots in the world, and then he does that. Oh man,
who doesn't love that? Thank you.
I love this. Godzilla wins. We've got Coach Vince Mayoko, Brendan Statler, Dan Hobgood, Chris Saxman, John Fredericks, Jay Delsing, giving you a bunch of Masters coverage. Today is moving day. Rory has a 6-stroke lead, and but now the coverage goes to CBS where all the shenanigans are gone. But I want to tell you,
Mitch, can I jump in really quickly just to say? Okay, so Rory has 5 majors right now. If he doubled that number, he will still be only 4th on the list behind Jack Tiger and Walter Hagen,
Right.
just ahead of Ben Hogan. Ahead of him right now are Phil, Nick Faldo, Lee Trevino, Arnold Palmer, Sam Snead, Bobby Jones, Tom Watson, and Gary Player, in addition to all the other players that I mentioned.
Yeah.
So it's not outside of the realm of possibility, but he'd have to have probably a better second half of his career than the first half of his career for that to happen.
Right. Yeah, he would have to go on a Rory run right now. He'd have to this from 36 on.
I mean, this underscores the entire conversation we have about this, greatest of all time. And I get tired of it, frankly. Yeah. I look at sports, and we've had this conversation before, in eras. I mean, can you imagine some of those players in today's courses with today's equipment? Who knows what could have happened against this talent level? I try to enjoy the era in which we live and the battles and the rivalries. I grew up hating Jack Nicklaus because I'm from Pittsburgh. We just and my family helped, my extended
Arnie's
family
Army
that I've never met. I mean, they helped get Arnie on the tour, extended cousins, because we're from Latrobe and we're outside of Greensboro. Yeah, man. And so I mean, I grew up in a household that hated Jack Nicklaus. You have to understand that. So every Sunday we're dialed in hating Jack Nicklaus. I mean, and not like, oh, we're just rivals. No, we freaking hated Jack Nicklaus because he went to Ohio State, right? And it's just, you just didn't do that from Western PA. So, I mean, that's an era. That's an era. That.
Well, perspective is key in that, because everybody just puts him on a pedestal, but obviously.
But it's 7,700 and he stood in Arnie's way.
I mean, what is
that?
He stood
in Arnie's way.
Guys, in 1962, they used to have a long drive contest at the PGA Championship. Jack Nicklaus won in 1962. They gave him this really cool money clip with the lousy ball. He used a tourney, a McGregor tourney ball, which was a very inferior ball, and a wooden-headed club. He drove it 346 yards in 1962.
Crazy.
That's insane.
Jack would absolutely hit the ball out of bounds. It'd just be insane how powerful he was.
Hey, I don't know if you heard the Gary Player's interview sometime this week. He was dressed, he had his green jacket on, but he was talking about how the game has gotten so power hungry as far as driving. Mm-hmm. And he said the easiest thing that golf could do is to tone down the golf balls. What's your take on that, Jay?
Well, you know what, Vince, what's happened is the driver is this big and the sweet spot is the size of my fist. And back in the old days, the driver head was the size of my fist, and the sweet spot was a racer head in there. So when you miss hit balls, they perform poorly. We've got this tech now that if you hit a ball on the toe or you hit a ball on the heel, it all works itself back towards the fairway. The driver is as guilty, is as big a problem as the ball. The ball is a missile. When we were kids, we played balata, which was a soft ball that spun a lot and you could curve it. Mm-hmm. Well, what they've done is they've taken the curve out of the ball, but the ball is an absolute missile. It goes forever. Mm-hmm. I don't think they should change the ball and the equipment for the amateurs at all. The game's way too damn hard. Let you guys hit it a mile. Every once in a while it goes straight. Hell yeah. Enjoy that. They need to take and make a different ball for the professional game. But the biggest pushback, you guys, has come from the manufacturers. They don't want any part of it. They want to sell one product that you buy, that we play, and so it is. The powers that be are on different wavelengths here, and so they call this thing bifurcation, which is stupid. It's just having a different set of rules for the pro game, and then let the amateurs do what they want. The problem is, where do you draw the line? Is it in college? Is it? And then how do you police that? Whose ball is playing what? How do you know? And it would be a nightmare for the golf professionals as well, Vince. Could you imagine? They've already got so many golf ball choices. Then they're going to throw an entirely new selection of each manufacturer making a high-end ball. And
you know what, Jay? In baseball, yes, but in baseball,
right here.
Baseball is totally different because you have high school has a higher seam, college has a lower seam, and Major League Baseball has essentially no seam at all.
Mhm.
So baseball has done that, where the lower level has a higher seam, and you get to the ultimate level, the Major League Baseball level, where basically the seams are painted onto the
Same
leather.
with the aluminum bats, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
I mean,
God,
it
man.
wouldn't go back.
Basketball, too.
I mean,
So
it
I've
wouldn't
seen
take a lot.
baseball has done that. Why can't golf do that? And that way, we're not changing the landscape of Augusta.
Why can't the golf technology help? Like, this twist face doesn't work for my 18 index. I need a head this big. I need more technology. What is going on here? Maybe I need to work on the internal side of me. Maybe I need to go to the wellness company, guys.
It's a mental game.
Maybe the ultimate spike detox or the medical emergency kit. I don't know. I might need to do something there, but that's what really sets them apart. Their medical emergency kits, doctor developed, stocked with critical medications, designed to give you peace of mind when you need it most. Don't leave your health to chance. Go to the wellness company. The wellness company. I don't do this as well as John Fredericks, but the medical emergency kit, Chris. I know when you guys do your Thelma and Louise tours across the country, you have your medical emergency kit.
Oh yeah, I just had mine arrive. UPS delivered it because I was again out, and we're getting ready to do 2 international trips in May. And I'm like, I'm not leaving the country without some meds, man. It's too expensive. It cost us $600 to go see a doctor in the Caymans back in, what was it, February, where the hell we were there. And you just don't want to take that risk. It will save you money to have those meds on hand when you travel anywhere, especially if you travel, and even if you're just at home and don't want to go see the doctor, and you just go do it. Trust me, folks, you will save so much money. Just have this on hand. It's a great gift coming up on Mother's Day and Father's Day. Absolutely, one of the best things you can do for yourself or your family is spend it and get the promo code. The problem I was in Dallas, and I came in the bus one morning, and I wasn't feeling really well, and I was like, "Dude, where's your medical kit?" He goes, "Oh, I can't find it." I'm like, "What are you doing? Are you killing me?" So I ordered one, but I didn't put in the promo code. And so John, what he did was he called the CEO of the company and said, "Hey, Saxman ordered one of these kits. Can you give him the credit?" And I forgot about the 10% discount. And like 10 minutes later, I get this charge that comes across my phone. I'm like, they canceled my order. I'm like, no, it was the refund for the 10% off. And I was like, well, that's a nice little thank you present there, right? But overall, get the meds, get the kit, do it for yourself. Go to TWC Health. And put in the Godzilla promo code. Great gift item for coming up for Father's Day and Mother's Day, especially if you have an elderly folks in your family. You just want to say, just go to the website and look up the symptoms and just take care of yourself early.
Absolutely. TWC.health/Godzilla. Promo code Godzilla to get that 10% discount. You're listening to the Godzilla Win Show. I'm your host, Mitch Rogers, joined by a full crew. If you are watching on any of our streaming apps, look at this. This is awesome. Brendan Statler, Vince Mayoko, Dan Hobgood, Chris Saxman, Jay Delsing, John Fredericks. I'm out of breath. There are so many people. We are going to be talking about the Tattoo Expo in Morgantown. It's right. It's going around the 10th to the 12th. I found out today John is tattooed from head to toe. Too much information. John, what's your favorite tattoo?
Probably the Archangel, Michelangelo. I've got all the angels on. I've got Michelangelo. I've got Angel Raphael. I've got Gabriel. I got Saint Anne. I've got the Virgin Mary. I've got the crucifix. So we'll go from there.
Saint Anne, was the Saint Anne for your wife?
Yes.
I like that.
I also go to Saint Anne's Church, Catholic Church in Washington, D.C. And as a Catholic, we believe in saints and angels. Not every religious sect does that. So I'm just a big believer in that. So I got all the key angels on. I got the warrior. I've got the communicator. I've got the one that protects the traveler. I've got the Virgin Mary. You name it, I got it. It's all good.
Very cool. Hey, I'm putting this up to the panel. Anyone else have a tattoo? Are you the only one on the panel? Jay, what's your tattoo?
I've got my dad. I've got this 53 Tigers jersey on the wall. My dad was number 24, and when he passed away, we had a couple hits of tequila and got the 2-4 on my ankle. Yeah,
that's a good looking jersey, man. I got to tell you, those old gray flannels just spectacular.
Can you imagine no night games? Chris.
Oh,
So they
nice
play
to go to that
doubleheaders
stadium.
on the weekends. That is a sweat machine there.
Oh,
I don't know
yeah.
if they
Back
did
in
it.
the day.
All right, we got
Back in the
some
day.
we got
Hey,
some
John. Hey, John, real quick, one of your listeners on the Getter app suggesting an annual golf tournament for Godzilla
yes
with Jay Delsing.
For what?
with
A golf
Yeah,
tournament
we should
for,
have
for
annual
Godzilla.
golf tournament. Come up to Northern Virginia. We'll all play. I haven't played golf in years. I don't even know where my clubs are. We've moved so many times, but yeah, I'll play.
How about a putt skins round?
Ooh, putt.
Long as
I love it.
long as you
Lots
can
of-
cut, long as you can cut me off after 6 shots and then I'm out, then I think it would probably work.
We
golf
can do a
shots
captain's
or-
choice. How
golf
about a captain's
shots or-
choice?
I
I
love
don't
this.
really know what
Listen,
that is. Like best ball. Or
Best,
something.
yeah, best ball. Yeah.
You're
I think
listening.
that's
You're
called
listening
best
to.
We have
should
a two guests in.
Yes, we
Al,
do.
we
So
have,
this-
can we bring in? Go ahead.
We do. This is the only place where we talk golf and tattoos. We're bringing in Rocco. I'll let John take this over. The West Virginia Tattoo Expo is in Morgantown, West Virginia. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow, I do believe. Rocco, welcome to the show. John, I'll let you take over.
Hey,
Thank you.
Rocco,
Happy to be
thanks for
here.
being with us. Do we have
Appreciate it.
do we have Justin on as well, or just Rocco? Justin, you with
Yes,
us?
Justin's here too.
Okay, so we
Yeah.
got Justin, Lawrence Marketing, and Rocco Cunningham, and you guys are hosting the Tattoo Expo in West Virginia. We understand that you guys have been sold out. It's a massive event. You've had one of the biggest out of town people coming in ever. And look, I wish I could be there, but I'm on this tour in Virginia or only be there. Tell us a little about why the Tattoo Expo has gained such popularity and why it's such a big deal in West Virginia.
Well, we were the first tattoo convention in the state of West Virginia. You know, I'm a tattooer, 22 years, and traveling around and not having one in West Virginia. Other artists would always ask about that. So it was time to bring one to West Virginia years back in 2013. And we wanted to do a show that West Virginia could be proud of and a show the tattoo community would embrace.
You know, one of the things that I love about Tattoo Expos is that you can actually get inked while you're there. Obviously, you have to be over 18. That's got to be proven. But a lot of people go there and they get inked right on the floor during the expo. That is something that's very different. That just started a while back. How effective has that been, Rocco?
It's been excellent. We work hand in hand with the health department as well. So they come on site and inspect every tattoo artist here. We have over 200 artists here in Morgantown with us. So the health department goes above and beyond to ensure the safety of everybody attending the event. And every artist here is licensed and inspected by the health department.
You know, if I get to your marketing director here, Justin Lawrence, a minute. Justin, back in the day, for somebody like me, I was an executive. Getting inked was really frowned on. It was just not a lot of people did it. It was always like, well, you must be a biker, which I never owned a bike, right? You must be a biker. You must be a hippie. You must be weird. So back in the day, you know, nobody really dealt with this. And now, I mean, it's becoming more mainstream. Tell us a little about that and we'll let you guys go.
Yeah, I mean, as far as becoming mainstream, I mean, Rocco and I both went to WVU. We're both Mountaineers, and that's kind of how we became connected here as Morgantown people that want to come together to go and enjoy things that we both like. Bringing together artists together all at the same time. It's just the energy that happens in Morgantown, just the Mountaineer spirit. It's just a lot of energy,
Yeah, and with Morgantown having so much tattoo acceptance as well, you know, it was the perfect venue here at the Marriott Waterfront in Morgantown. And us being, you know, forever Mountaineers, I'm a very proud West Virginian. And so doing something great for West Virginia was always top of the list there.
All right. Well, I know you got a lot of people. Mike Pasqua told me coming from the state of Virginia as well, which is where we have a big network of radio stations and coverage. So that's good. You're at the Marriott Waterfront in Morgantown. People want to still get there. They want to follow you guys. Rocco, where do they go?
wvtattooexpo.com, and we're all over social media for the West Virginia Tattoo Expo.
All right, and I appreciate your putting up our video, Joe and I know it went viral, so thanks for doing that. And you can see I got some of my arms here exposed. But let's thank you, WVU Expo. You guys have a great session there, and Godzilla Wins will be right back. I got to take off, and guys, quick word from our sponsors, and we'll be right back. Justin, thank you.
Thanks, John.
Rocco, thank you. And thank you for sponsoring Godzilla Wins. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
West Virginia Sports Nation gives you a top-of-the-mountain view of the Mountaineers sports landscape. See what's happening in all the sports, far beyond football, basketball, and baseball. Gymnastics, track and field, rowing, swimming and diving, golf, volleyball, tennis. More sports, more stories. If the Mountaineers play the game, WVSportsNation.com has it covered. Up-to-date and insightful articles written by Mountaineers for Mountaineers Nation. WVSportsNation.com. WVSportsNation.com. WVSportsNation.com.
The best part about waking up in the morning is a great cup of coffee, and I get this every day with my 1775 coffee. It's rich, it's bold, best tasting coffee I've ever had. Single origin, farmed in Bolivia, 7,000 feet. It's always fresh, roasted daily. This is the best coffee you're ever going to get. Go to 1775coffee.com, 1775coffee.com. Promo code Godzilla, 10% off. It's going to make your day every day.
You woke up with a sore throat and a low-grade fever. You know you are getting sick, so here's your choices. You can get sicker and miss work. Try to see a doctor this week or sit hours in a crowded waiting room at urgent care.
I have a smarter option for you. Open your medical emergency kit. Match your symptoms to doctor-recommended prescription in your booklet and take the right meds now and get well faster.
This is not a first aid kit. It's like having an urgent care in your home. It includes doctor-prescribed medications to treat over 39 medical issues like respiratory infections, strep throat, pneumonia, UTIs, and more.
No waiting to see the doctor and no standing in line at the pharmacy. It's right here.
Every home should have at least one medical emergency kit, and here's how to order.
Order online fast and save $45. Your kit with prescriptions to treat common and life-saving illnesses is rushed to your door. Visit twc.health/Godzilla. Promo code Godzilla. That's twc.health/Godzilla. Promo code Godzilla.
John Frederick, your Godzilla of truth, fiercely independent.
No ties to Wall Street, I promote Main Street.
The John Frederick Media Network, privately owned and operated, on top of the issues on air and online.
Trucking the truth every day for 14 years.
The John Frederick Show drives your morning, weekdays 6 to 10 a.m. Eastern. The only independent White House correspondent with live reports from the White House. Hit JohnFredericksRadio.com. Watch at JFMN.tv. John Frederick, your Godzilla of truth.
Who's going to stop me now?
Nobody. John Fredericks, he's America's Godzilla of truth. All week long, he's world-renowned for his proficient proclivity to prophesy the people's political picks with pinpoint precision.
Yeah, baby.
Then, on the weekends, he gets with the guys that are pretty wise, and Godzilla wins. Godzilla Wins, the sports picking show for winning dough. Money lines, parlays, over-under, the best plays. You choose the game, Godzilla picks the winners. Get expert analysis, exclusive insights, and have a little fun. When the game is on your mind and money's on the line, Godzilla Wins is your guide to picking winners. Godzilla Wins, on the screens of your TV and favorite devices, commanding radio airwaves far and wide. Before you make that play, hear what the Godzilla crew has to say. Presented by WestVirginiaSportsNation.com, it's time for Godzilla Wins, all across the John Fredericks Media Network. Oh, yeah.
For entertainment purposes only.
We are back here on the Saturday show. We're going to have some gambling picks for you. Remember, if you have any gambling issues, please dial 1-800-GAMBLER. Again, that's 1-800-GAMBLER. Before we get to all the co-hosts and the guests on here, I want to thank our sponsors, WVSportsNation.com, WVSportsNation.com, that Brendan and I have the pleasure of writing for. Also, WV The Torch. And also want to thank Rocco and Justin from the West Virginia Tattoo Expo. We just had an interview with them. Was so proud that they were Mountaineers. Brendan, I don't know how I escaped Morgantown without a tattoo. I don't know how I wasn't deliriously, ridiculously stupid one night and just doing that, but I did not do that. Brendan, did you escape your young youth with no tattoos?
Yeah, I did. I haven't had one to this point. I'm not saying that I'll never get one, but to this point in my life, no, don't have any tattoos.
All right, we're going to bring out the rest of our panel. Jay Delsing, Dan Hobgood, Brendan Statler. We talked a lot about the Masters in the first hour. Chris Saxman has joined us back for the second hour of the show. Masters is going to be on later today. It is a jam-packed Saturday. Started here with our show and then roll into the Masters, roll into hockey. If you need any help with your health, the Wellness Company is here for you as well. If you need any ivermectin, anything like that, we're going to go. But we're going to have a lot of hockey talk, a lot of Major League Baseball talk. But this week, we also had the national championships for men's and women's basketball wrap up. It was a little earlier in the week, so we'll just touch on it. Michigan and UCLA win. Michigan for the men, UCLA for the women's. Big Ten is dominating everywhere, but Michigan, Chris, man, Michigan. I know it's not our, it's not our grandfathers, it's not our fathers. NCAA, it's an all new team, constructed, but they were a great team.
Oh, yeah.
And very worthy, blew out every opponent. I know that UConn made it a game a little bit towards the end, but Michigan dominated that. Well-deserving, correct?
Oh, absolutely. I think what we saw in the Final Four amongst all four of those teams, these are grown men, right? These are older men playing college basketball than the Fab Four, the skinny kids coming out of high school. You just see them, they fill up the court. They're so damn big. And that's the difference, I think, in a lot of these games because they play great defense. They rebounded really well, obviously shot the ball. But then the final score is 69-63. No one complained about low scoring, did they? When Tony Bennett in the Cavaliers were making their runs, it's like, oh, it's so boring. There's not a lot of scoring. No, people, I think, generally appreciate the defense that was being played by Michigan and respected it, and absolutely respect the job that the coach, Dusty May, I think is his name, he's done there in just 2 years. But it also underscores, look, we're in a golden age of NIL, money talks, and Bravo Sierra walks, and these programs are going to be forking out millions of dollars signing these kids to get the best caliber talent, and we're just going to have a two-tier system in college sports going forward. And then I'm fine with that. We just have to recognize it, that you're not going to have a Florida Atlantic or Florida Gulf Coast making a stretch run. Davidson, sorry, those days are gone. VCU, those days are gone. George Mason, those days are gone. You're just not. It's just not there. This is like the AAA of NBA, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just a thing.
Yeah, Coach Vince, John Calipari tried to do this, it felt like 15 years ago. He's a little ahead of the curve, not ahead of the curve of paying his players, probably, allegedly. But it's very difficult to take these one-year teams and actually make them winners. He only won one national championship. He got upset by West Virginia in 2010. So what Dusty May did with this squad, I got to suspend my sensibilities because I want it to be back like it used to be, but it's not. It's a pretty impressive thing, and this is the new era we're in, where you have to have coaches that can basically assemble a team and turn them into champions in one season, and that's an epic feat, it seems like.
Yeah, I mean, if I read this correctly, Michigan's the first team to win a national title with their entire starting five being portal guys, which is different than the Calipari era, where he would bring in five freshmen. One and done guys, and exactly, and that's when obviously NBA and college basketball agreed. Okay, a kid can't go straight out of high school like a la Kobe and LeBron. They got to spend at least 1 year at a university, and Calipari took advantage of that. And now we've got the portal era, where obviously Dusty May has a pretty good feel on how to bring in transfers from other schools. The guy that I thought was impressive was Mara, the kid who had originally, I think he was at UCLA, I believe. And you look at this big gangly 7'3", 7'4" guy, looking and like, he's pretty athletic. I mean, he's pretty athletic for a guy that tall and that gangly. And a guy like that was just a force. I mean, he really was dominated the middle, forced the other team to basically, try to shoot the mid-range jumper. But he, I mean, how many alley-oops did he have during the course of the tournament? Tons of them. But Michigan was good. You look at in their previous wins in the tournament, they scored 90 points or more in each game. And then obviously the championship game turned into more of a defensive half-court style game compared to the other games. And they can win at that route too. So they could win 94 feet or at a half-court offense as well too. So no doubt, Michigan team.
Kudos, coach, to the panelists who batted 1,000 on their picks from last week.
Shut up.
Surprised John didn't bring up my 0-6 record.
Well done, coach.
Go pound sand, Dan.
I did great on college basketball picks.
I picked Rory. Okay, I picked Rory last week. I let it go.
Well, Jay, it seems like we have a real issue here because it's 6 days later. And I'm not talking about really how great Michigan is. I'm talking about how effed up the college scene is with nil and transfer portal. What do they do? I know ratings were fine, so they're going to keep doing what they're doing, but this stinks, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm with you. But I'm old, and I guess wanting something to go back the way it was is kind of fool's gold. It never seems to happen. But
true.
Guys, have you seen a less skilled championship game than that? It was more like a rugby/wrestling. I mean, if the referees hadn't swallowed the whistle, which had to be an impossible game to officiate, everyone would have fouled out. I mean, that we couldn't. At one point, I think Michigan was 1 for 15 shooting threes, and UConn was 5 for 27. I mean, nobody could make any buckets, and I just don't know where they're going with why is it so difficult for the NCAA to put some slightly reasonable parameters on these contracts that these kids are signing, and maybe they're with football, maybe they're 2 years, maybe you only get to change schools once or twice, or it's not that hard. And why they open up these portals while the play is still going on. So Lane Kiffin leaves his team before they go to a bowl game or before they get to play for the national championship is just insane. It's not that hard. I don't care about, they're saying it's because school is going to start and we're going to, really?
Yeah, now you're bringing school into play, right? Sure.
When did school become relevant?
They're not going to register for calculus this semester. Oh gosh,
Right.
what will we do?
Class started. Oh yeah, you don't come anyway. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. I mean, I know there was an executive order signed. We don't need to get into the political parts of that, Chris, but the executive order was more. Give me some of the details on that. I don't have that pulled up in front of me, but they can play for 5 years if they can transfer one time in those 5 years, but it limits them so they can't play till they're 28 years old. But something in that effect where if you transfer, you have to sit out a year like it used to be when I was younger, made sense. Like, because there were real acts. We had friends that played football, and they literally were like, if I sit out, I'm going to be 23, and what's the point?
Well, I appreciate the president weighing here with an executive order, but I don't think it has the force of law to govern this, because I don't think it stands up in the courts. First of all, you have to legislate this, and look, it's going to get political.
Yeah,
it's going to get political. There is too much money in these major, marquee universities, and they're dominant culturally, especially in the South. The SEC, I mean. You don't schedule weddings in the South in the fall. You just don't on the weekends. You just don't do it. It is so important culturally that someone's going to put a bill in and bring a lawsuit because there's just so much at stake here. So there has to be a national conversation. The NCAA, as I think, is on its death knell right now because let's be frank, the Big Ten, which is really the Big 18, and the SEC don't need the NCAA. No, and the NCAA knows it, and so does everybody else. And it has to be dealt with because it is insane. You have over half the players in men's college basketball right now in the portal. It's open free agency. And it's to the point about the game not being a great game. It wasn't a great game. It's not. There's not a lot of drama. There's not a lot of rivalry. It lacks what it used to have that was special, and it's not there anymore. But the end of the day, the almighty dollar is going to win out. But they have to put some guardrails and parameters on this thing because it's just a lot of kids are being taken advantage of. A lot of kids are losing money, even though they're making a lot of money. They're blowing a lot of money. That should be protected. And so should the families involved because it's just too much damn money.
What I like is happening a little bit, Brendan, is if you're in business, if you want to become profitable, you look at what the trends are and what people are doing, and sometimes you do the opposite to try to attract the other side. And now you have Dan Hurley, Michigan State. You have these teams that are like Michigan. We're gonna give you all the money. We're gonna care to you. We're gonna kiss your ass. We're gonna do whatever. We'll run a pick and roll, make it easy for you all. Get to the NBA. Blah, blah, blah. There's plenty of teams that can do that, plenty of money. But then there's teams that are like, if you want to play for some real coaching, get a hard edge. There's some families and fathers that are going to want to send people to play for Hurley, to play for Izzo. And that is the only saving grace. And we saw some of these teams. Iowa, Ben McCollum has a pretty hardcore coaching style too. I love seeing that there are kids that not only can take coaching, but are going to try to get coached. That might be the saving grace, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's certainly a possibility. I mean, that's kind of a minority these days because it's all about for the majority of these kids coming right out of high school. They're really good at whatever sport they're doing. It's all about, who's going to pay them the most money, who's going to, provide them with the most gifts, whatever, even though this stuff happened to a degree even before NIL, it's, out in the open now. So yeah, it's rare that you'll find kids that actually want to play at a school where they're getting coached better, not necessarily making the most money they can make, but being coached and mentored to make them into the athlete they could be. And, I wanted to bring up here real quick since Saxman brought up with the transfers. I looked up President Trump's executive order, and one of the things that is listed in here, and we've talked about this many times when we've talked about college athletics, the biggest problem is not necessarily the money, even though that's an aspect of it, but it's the amount of transfers. It's almost impossible to build up a team. The executive order would limit athletes to one transfer during their 5-year window, with immediate eligibility allowing a second transfer only after completing a 4-year degree. So, if this is what they're trying to do with this is essentially eliminate players switching teams every other year. I mean, how many times have we seen it in college football? A certain quarterback will play for a different team every time they're in college, every year they're in college. That to me is the biggest problem with college athletics. So there certainly needs to be guardrails set up if you're going to save college athletics.
Yeah, because Dan, I'm sitting there, and Elliot Cadu, obviously, he's the most outstanding player in the Final Four. I'm trying to get into him, and then you just realize, he started at North Carolina, transferred from a junior college. It's just tough to fall in love. UVA, it feels like 10 years ago they would build teams and really recruit to their program, but now you're just going through and picking whomever.
Yeah, it's open free agency. This is like the open AAU tournament crap. I like UVA. I don't really follow them throughout the year because I don't know these players. I root for them at the tournament. Okay, I want them to beat Duke because I hate Duke. God knows I hate Duke. But do you get involved with the development of the Malcolm Brogdon, a Kyle Guy like I used to? No. I mean, there's a level of disinterest in the players themselves and the program writ large, and I think that damages the sport. However, that's the current market, but unless you start putting some guardrails on this thing, and you're gonna have to have collective bargaining for the kids. They're gonna have to have some protections built into the program. It's just gonna go down that road. So you're gonna have to deal with it. And executive order is just not gonna cut it. I mean, okay, so Trump weighs in. Yay, good for him. Everyone loves when his fans love that, and they all give him he did something. But I don't think it's gonna carry the weight of law and finalize the deal.
Dan,
it shouldn't. Frankly, it shouldn't come from the president of the United States.
Yeah,
no,
true.
No, it's going to take an act of Congress at some point, I think.
Dan, you follow the UVA basketball programs or UVA sports programs intently.
Yeah.
They're obviously they're top tier, but they're not the Michigans and so forth out there. But there's a lot of money down in Charlottesville. What do they do? What kind of organizations do they have? Booster systems do they have? Because it feels like it's different everywhere. Like West Virginia, WVU, pretty much Marshall, whatever. Right? They're the sisters of the war. So there's a collective where the whole state is basically throwing into this thing for West Virginia. Well, how does UVA run it down there?
Well, Virginia got its act together very, very quickly. I hope I don't cause any offense. Carla Williams, the AD, is sort of more like a figurehead at this point. The person running the show is Wally Walker, the former All-American basketball player who used to be an NBA player, executive for the Seattle Supersonics. He's come in. He's running the show. He and Barry Parkhill, my dad's co-captain, they're raising the money. They're handling all the business stuff. They're getting the players paid. They're taking care of everything behind the scenes. They're the heavy hitters and the big time players in the scene, in the front office, if you will, for UVA. And they're getting the job done. I mean, with everybody else having a head start this past year. Virginia ended up with a team that was basically a top 10 team in the country, at least by the polls, at the end of the season going into the NCAA tournament. And that was really thanks to what Wally and Barry were able to do with NIL and through the transfer portal. But they succeeded in a lot of ways. And look at what the football team did. Football team really, by all intents and purposes, should have won the ACC championship. It's kind of disappointing that they didn't win the ACC championship, but that was, again, all thanks really ultimately to what Wally Walker and Barry Parker were able to do through NIL. They succeeded in doing what North Carolina, I think, aspired to do with creating this kind of NFL-ish front office type sort of situation. But for as much as we don't like NIL and the transfer portal, ideally, I mean, it is the reason why Tony Bennett is no longer the head basketball coach at Virginia. It's probably why Nick Saban is retired from Alabama. It's probably why Krzyzewski and Roy Williams maybe didn't stick around a little longer at Duke and UNC, respectively, so on and so forth. Virginia's kind of mastered the system. They're taking advantage of what's in place, and they kind of got their act together.
Imagine
and
that.
It all figured out.
The Darden Business School nerds.
Yeah, exactly.
All taking over college.
I've been in the pitch meetings. I've been in the pitch meetings with the coach. Tony, what's his name? They just signed him. The football
Tony
coach. Tony Elliott. Carla Williams, major donors, NFL players. There was maybe 30 of us in the room, and it was a pitch. And all of a sudden you're sitting at lunch. You turn around, you're sitting next to Matt Schaub. You're like, okay, what's going on here? And they got their act together, and they were able to put together a program and a pitch to the donors, and donors are stroking checks. That is a well-funded university, and this is going to be the difference going forward. You had Serena Williams' husband who started up Reddit, I think Alex Ohanian. He's all in for the women's basketball program. He's stroking checks, right?
What are the barbers? What are the tiki?
And they're not playing. Look, guys, they're not playing around. The UVA stepped it up, and all these other universities are tapping into their networks and their alumni. And the alumni are very conservative, going, okay, well, we'll see what you got. And when you start making it real, we'll come in. But it's a give and a take. And they're playing from Jay, you'll understand this. They're playing from the back tees.
What was Virginia picked to finish this year in football? I mean, it was like 14th or 15th in the conference. They were in the title game.
This is the new era, and they recognize if they're going to be top tier and they want to be top tier. And there's only so much university they're going to build out. They're not adding kids. They don't have that. Truly, they don't have that. It's not that big of a university when you consider the other flagships like Ohio State having 70,000 kids, right? This is just not there. The alumni at UVA will stroke heavy checks.
All right. By the way, we're not sponsored by UVA Sports Nation.
It's not just about UVA. It's about every university. Every university is going to do the same thing to match it. That's my point.
Hey, we're doing a service. We're providing a service.
We need to talk about
we're telling you what to do.
Virginia a little more.
We're telling you what to do.
That's adorable. That's adorable. I mean, honestly.
By the way, these Darden kids have nothing on this broadcast journalism.
It's not about Darden. Look, and this is the sad part about what's happening to schools like West Virginia, Pitt, and until they step up and realize what the market is, they are going to be left behind.
How dare you? We have Pat McAfee. How dare you? How
don't
dare you?
It doesn't
Love
matter.
that Yinzer.
Look, this is the tiering system. We're watching it happen in front of our eyes. This is why you have USC and UCLA and Oregon in the Big Ten, for God's sakes.
All right. We got to take a little break.
Let's not forget about John Beeline either. My good buddy John Beeline.
I love John Beeline, by the way.
John
If you
Beeline.
guys ever need a break, you should go to this place called Rosie's Casino. Hey, folks, if you're looking for a fun night out with great energy and even better chances to win, Rosie's Gaming Emporium. They have a location out in Dumfries. From fast-paced gaming action to laid-back atmosphere where you can grab a drink and kick back, Rosie's has something for everyone. The best odds in Virginia for a little while. Hopefully this state legislature doesn't change that, Chris. I'll let you take care of that behind the scenes, though. Rosie's Gaming Emporium, Churchill Downs, all the above. Rosie's is fun. You roll in there, watch all the games. Doesn't have your traditional games like blackjack, but has some cool games all around. So,
well, the governor Spanberger vetoed 2 gaming bills over the weekend, and she's coming in hot. Skill games got vetoed. I forget what the other gaming bill was.
Are they going to be taken out of my 7-Eleven?
Yeah, man.
7-Eleven?
No, she wants a gaming. This is really important for the listeners and the especially the gaming audience. We're going to have a lot more regulations coming in. We're going to have a lot more enforcement coming in, and I think that's a good thing. So hopefully Governor Spanberger will put in a gaming commission and get some talk about guardrails, because you can't. One of the reasons you can't gamble on college sports in Virginia is because they think it would corrupt the game. And they're right, and that underscores the unsavory elements that can rear its ugly head. We've seen that in Major League Baseball and in college basketball and in NAIA level. I mean, it's just there's got to be guardrails, and I'm really happy to see that happen.
I'm sure, and UVA is abusing them all right now. I'm sure, allegedly, they're abusing all these guardrails. Coach Vince, it would be remiss. I'd be a jerk.
Chris, where is the pep band when we need them right now?
West Virginia needs to have a couch burning weekend so they can raise the money to fund. To fund their
Mitch will be there.
Here comes the demand and apology letter from the governor of West Virginia to Abigail Spanberger.
Just give me some kerosene. Coach Vince, I'm not going to leave your UCLA women's national championship team out of here. Congratulations. UCLA wins the women's title over South Carolina, 79-51. Lots of controversy in the game prior to that, but UCLA, I didn't see that one coming. UConn had a 50-some game win streak. South Carolina seemed in line, but UCLA pulls that out. How proud are those Bruins?
Well, I think all 6 of us would be in agree with this. At the beginning of the tournament, all 6 of us would have predicted UConn to win it, go undefeated, and obviously South Carolina took them out in the national semifinals. But UCLA, I mean, they avenged their only loss of the season, beating Texas in the national semifinals. And I just had a feeling after they took care of Texas that this team's on a mission, and they absolutely laid the leather to South Carolina. I mean, the game was over by halftime. And what UCLA was able to do was, I mean, you talk about, on the opposite end, the Coach Cal type teams, the one and dones. UCLA's starting 5, I think, were all seniors. And in most of their games, their starting 5 all averaged double-digit points. And when you have that kind of balance, whether it's women's, men's, youth basketball, you have that type of balance, you are going to be difficult to beat. And that's, once again, I'm in California, the heart of Big Ten country.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, just right in line over there. Right in line over there. All right. Well, congratulations to UCLA. We don't need to get into controversies with the women's game because I want to move on. Everyone, you're listening to Godzilla Wins. Chris Saxman, Brendan Statler, Jay Delson, Vince Mayoko, Dan Hobgood. I'm your host, Mitch Rogers. NHL playoffs right around the corner, 2 weeks away. We will get to the Penguins. But Jay, I was just up in Clinton, New York. I guess they would call that sort of upstate New York, but they call it Hockeytown, USA in Clinton, New York. The Buffalo Sabres making the playoffs for the first time in 14 years is a huge deal in that area. And I know if you're on the West Coast or even if you're down in UVA, you don't feel it as much. It's good for the sport, good for hockey. I'm excited for them, until the playoffs start. Jay, are you excited about the hockey game?
14 years of missing out in the NHL is not easy to do.
It's true.
It's not easy to do.
Very true.
You know, we had our best defenseman, Colton Parayko, was traded to Buffalo, but he had a no movement clause. We were going to get 2 first-rounders, and he nixed the deal. And it was really interesting for all of us St. Louisans because the Blues are going to miss the playoffs this year, and
which is crazy. Yeah,
we thought, wow, you know, Parayko is this really kind of a star defenseman, and I've been to Buffalo before. I know it takes a bad rap city-wise and stuff like that, but I liked it. I think it's got to be so exciting for the city. They got this kid, Tage Thompson, that was drafted. He was a first rounder that the Blues picked years ago, and we pushed him to Buffalo for Ryan O'Reilly, and we won the cup because of Ryan O'Reilly. So we don't have any hard feelings. But when I watch Tage Thompson play, I'm like, man, this dude reminds me a little bit of a lighter Jaromir Jagr, big kid, 6'6", unbelievable shot, strides, 3 strides, and he covers 2 blue lines, sort of thing. So I absolutely love this time of year. The Masters is a huge part of it, but MLB, my favorite sport in the whole world, is on. And then the NHL playoffs, which is like blood on the ice, when as soon as it starts, it's like real hockey.
Yes.
And not some of this other stuff that we have, to watch throughout the year.
Yeah.
So exciting, man.
Jay, who's your baseball team?
I'm a Cardinal fan and a Yankee fan.
Oh my God!
You're both? How can you be the 2 worst teams in the world?
It's all right.
Yeah,
I'm just a Cowboys fan. And
Jay, it's been great having you on this show. But
really a Cardinal fan. But my dad played for the Yankees in '49, and he won the World Series for that team.
Okay.
And I got to meet, as a young kid, I got to meet Yogi and Whitey and Casey Stengel and all of these guys. And then through my golf career, I had this relationship with Yogi Berra and Whitey Ford that was like surreal. And so I've always been partial to the Yankees for that reason.
I get that.
But
I mean, I take it all back.
I really bleed Cardinal red. I mean, we're rebuilding here, and I know. I got some pirate friends that just
it's easier to accept. It's easier to accept because they're in rebuilding mode. It's easier to accept.
You've been rebuild for like 3 months, and you guys.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah.
Hey, Brendan,
30 years.
Brendan.
What do the Pirates?
I always
What
forget.
do the Pirates, the Cardinals, and the Dodgers have in common, Jay? Branch Rickey. Branch Rickey.
Oh yeah.
Good call.
He helped build 3 franchises.
So, Brendan, sometimes I try to figure out how we are on this show. Jay drops. I mean, these people drop. Like we have coach of baseball. Dan's dad. Dan has more connections than I've ever. Chris just brings up things everywhere. Has more connections than anyone. Jay just knows, Whitey Bulger or whatever. I don't even know.
Whitey Bulger.
Whitey Ford.
Whatever, dude. Godfather Part 4. Calm down.
Whitey Bulger.
But I do know that Brendan.
Watch your back, Jay.
I know Brendan knows his hockey, baby.
It's a shiv.
You know your hockey, Brendan. Buffalo had one of the worst records in the world in December. This turnaround is crazy, and this momentum could be real rolling into this playoffs.
Yeah, well, apparently I don't know hockey as well as I like to think I do. I'm 1-3 on the Godzilla site when it comes to my hockey picks. Haven't had such great luck. But no, I mean, this is huge for Buffalo. I mean, this is the longest playoff drought in AHL history. And, it's nice no matter what sport it is, seeing one of these teams that haven't made the playoffs in so many years finally make it, unless it's the Cleveland Browns or Cincinnati Bengals. They continue to lose. But no, Buffalo has been fun to watch this year. They kind of came out of nowhere. Nobody expected them to do anything different this year than what they've done the last 14 years. And man, they got hot at the right time, and they're just continuing to plug away. They're going to be very fun to watch in the playoffs. I think that they're going to be a very tough opponent for anybody going into the Stanley Cup playoffs. It's going to be an exciting playoffs, guys. I can't wait.
Hey, Coach Vince, this is what we do. We say we buried the lead. That's what I got with my awesome journalism degree from West Virginia. The lead are the Pittsburgh Penguins. They were supposed to tank this whole season, right? And all of a sudden,
the party
out
on
of
Fifth
nowhere,
Ave is back.
They had the hot start. They had the 10-game losing streak in the middle. But now they seem to have one of those things, Coach Vince, going on where they're hot at the right time. They play the Caps later today. But really, they're locked into the second seed. Nowhere to go. Coach Vince, just give me a hockey talk. Yeah. What are you thinking of it?
Well, I think you're leading onto something there. In coaching, we often say it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And if we're talking, there's two types of finishes, obviously, with professional sports: how you finish the regular season, and then ultimately how you finish the playoffs. But Pittsburgh's heading in the right direction. To get back to Buffalo, if you don't have a dog in the fight, how do you not root for the Buffalo Sabres? And I think I'm looking at my team's fading right now, the San Jose Sharks. So it looks like they're going to be out. So I have to look at Buffalo, man. I just got to jump on their bandwagon and see how far they can take it. Right now, they got the most points in the Eastern Conference. So chances are they're going to have home ice throughout, at least until they get to the Stanley Cup Finals, if they make it that far. But what a story. What a story. And I know we mentioned this a couple of weeks ago. I think a lot of people thought, well, it's the Bills town and Josh Allen can lead the title. How ironic would it be if the Buffalo Sabres are hoisting the Stanley Cup in June? I mean, they will, that city will go absolutely nuts.
It would be look. I want the Penguins to win, but if the Sabres win, it's going to be glorious because my daughter's marrying into a Bills family this summer, and I can't wait to congratulate them for finally getting a championship in Buffalo, not being with the Bills. And I just can't wait to have that toast at the wedding.
You are ruthless.
I don't care. I don't care.
It's hard not to root for.
This is my daughter that's getting married into this thing. I'm gonna unleash the hounds.
I'll tell you what, though, that's a compliment to that area of upstate New York or central New York, Dan. Like I think everybody, when your team loses, you kind of root for the Bills or the Sabres. What are you thinking there? And obviously, I know you're a big Pittsburgh Penguins fan, and that turnaround's pretty remarkable as well. Give me your thoughts.
Wait, who?
Oh, you can go either Penguins.
Oh no, were you asking me? I didn't know.
Sorry about that. Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I was, when nobody spoke, I was like, oh, he must have been talking to me. No, obviously a great story with Buffalo. Of course, I think back to the first Winter Classic, which was between the Sabres and the Pens, if I'm not mistaken, with the Sidney Crosby overtime goal to win that thing. What was it? 2007, right? If
it feels like
2007 or maybe 2008. New Year's Day 2008. Yeah. Yep. So start of a real nice period there, 2 or 3 year period there for the Steelers and the Pens. But yeah, and then but yeah, to see the Pens sitting where they are, I think as I've said before on this cast, that Dan Muse, the Pens coach, I think probably the best coaching job in Pittsburgh in at least a decade in the professional sports there. Nobody really saw that coming. I don't know that anybody was clamoring for Dan Muse to get the job as the Pens coach. It was sort of like, who the hell is this guy?
Yeah, Dan who? Dan who?
Right? It was just like, what?
No idea.
And nobody was really singing the praises of Kyle Dubas before this year. I mean, that wasn't exactly a heralded hire either. But both of those guys now are the talk of the town. They are the bee's knees. Everybody loves them now. I was somebody who wasn't exactly thrilled to see Mike Sullivan go, but maybe it really was time for him to hit the road because Muse has revitalized the team. The players really seem to be buying into his program, and the stars are playing better. Malkin looks good. Letang is playing better. God, why am I blanking on the guy's name we got from the Sharks? Speaking of Vince's team, the Sharks. Carlson, yeah, that's right. Oh, yeah. Carlson is looking a whole lot better than he was looking when we got him to start with.
Great.
The goaltending is better. Everything about the Pens is just, it's like, where is this? Wow. I mean, it was sucked for McKenna at the beginning of the year, and now it's like, hey, we might we got a puncher's chance to win this thing.
Chris,
and Crosby continues to age like fine wine. Gets
unbelievable.
better.
38 years old,
crazy.
And he's
That guy's
averaging a
gonna play
point a
60
game
if he wants to.
every year he's played, right? I mean, a point a game, and I think that's a record at this point. I mean, not even Gretzky.
21 seasons of it.
Like,
Chris, I mean, right now they're locked into the second seed. That's the Penguins. They would, if it ended today, they would play the Philadelphia Flyers.
That's
Probably
pure hate. That's pure hate.
Their biggest rival.
That is one of the great appreciated rivalries in sport. That is pure freaking hatred right there. John Fredericks was going to buy a station in Philadelphia and put the Penguins on. I'm like, dude, you're not. They will burn that. They will burn that station tower down. And I'm really scared of the Flyers. I mean, I really am. They're playing extremely well, and I'm not happy about it because it's been 18,570 days since the Flyers won the Stanley Cup. And it would ruin one of my great digs at one of my best friends in the world, who's a Flyers fan. Because every once in a while he starts chipping away at it. I'm like, oh, has it been 18,570 days already? And just grind it into them. But yeah, the Flyers are playing great. You can't look past the Lightning or the Canadiens in the East. They're just so daggone good, and they're fast and young. It's going to be a great hockey playoff. Even if you're not a fan of hockey, pick a team and ride it out because it's going to be a lot of fun.
If you have a first round matchup between this Rick Tocchet Flyers team that wasn't supposed to be in the playoffs yet, they were probably a year away. Same with the Penguins. They were trying to be a rebuild. That's a fun first round matchup.
Oh God, no. I'll be up all night. I won't be able to sleep after it's going to be awful. And the chirping with my friends is going to be legendary, but it's going to be awful. I will be catatonic.
Today is being dubbed Supreme Saturday for the NHL. So, I mean, if you have two TVs, right, Masters on one, put the other one on, put some Supreme Saturday on, maybe grab your MyPillow. I don't know.
Nice segue there, Mitch.
Smooth. Very smooth.
These pillows are designed to give you the perfect support, whether you're a back sleeper, a side sleeper, or somewhere between. And it's not just pillows. MyPillow has sheets, mattress toppers, towels, slippers. John's in his slippers right now. So go to mypillow.com, please. Sleep better, feel better. Trust me, you'll notice the difference. And I do believe we have a promo code. We'll get that up there at some point. But
here's an idea. We could help with Jay's idea of trying to pare down everything in golf. We could line the fairways with MyPillows. They're so soft, they'll just the balls will hit the MyPillows and just stop dead in their tracks because it just.
Dan, when I was playing
slippers on the fourth tee.
I need that.
There we go. So yeah, PGA endorsed MyPillows.
All right. Wait, we got about 10, 12 minutes left on the show. I held off too long. Major League Baseball. Let's get into some baseball. Coach Vince, I mean, what's on your radar? Obviously, over here, you see you see the PNC Park in the background. We're just ready to talk Skeens and Connor Griffin. Bring us somewhere else first, Coach Vince. What's happened on the West Coast over there?
Well, I mean, it's all Dodgers on the West Coast. Unfortunately, being a Giants fan, that's hard for me to say. But speaking of the Giants, boy, they have really struggled offensively, and I think there was a lot of hope coming in. And I mean, obviously, the season's still young. I mean, things can happen, but you got to score to win, right? No matter how good your pitching is and how well you catch the ball. If you don't score, you don't win. That's the bottom line. And there has to be some type of offensive consistency with the Giants not had so far. Obviously, they opened up the season, a 3-game series against the Yankees, had a tough stretch to the very beginning of the year. But here on the West Coast, I mean, it's all Dodgers, unfortunately. I mean, they're just the best team that money could buy, I guess, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean, in 10-3. I mean, Jay, really no help in sight. I mean, someone can bring them down, right? I mean, what? I know we talked about the college landscape, but we can do an overall macro sense of Major League Baseball and the Dodgers. If we had John on here, he'd be railing about how unfair the system is right now. Jay, what do you think?
Well, here's the thing that's crazy, you guys, because I am a huge baseball nerd. We're going to have a work stoppage. I mean, these guys are what is absolutely amazing to me is these idiots on both sides of the fence cannot figure out how to split a $10 or $12 billion pie and have everybody get a little. And from a player standpoint, if I'm a player, I am going to lose a year that I'm never going to get back. I don't give a damn how old I am. I don't care if if I'm JJ Weatherholt or I'm Paul Skeens, I'm some of these great young stars that are coming up. You're going to lose a year. You'll never get it back.
Yep.
And the owners are going to be fine. The players, the players' representation is just so off. They don't understand how skewed the system is. The top players are making such huge money, and it skews the average AAV. And so the players need to get better representation. They need to understand the game more, the game they're playing, not the baseball game, the business side of the game more, and figure this out.
Right.
Why is there so much distrust and hatred here on both sides? I mean, this is 3 more shows we can talk about it, but it just irritates me. And what's interesting, guys, is age 31 is crucial in baseball because it's where most players have a precipitous drop off. What do the Dodgers do with Tucker? They signed him to 4 years because he's 27. So the entire free agency landscape has changed. It changed about 3 years ago because you're not seeing these massive 10, 12-year deals, even 6 and 7-year deals anymore because of that age 31, because the drop-off, the ownership knows that. The players need to figure it out. They need to get on board because your career is so precious. And you're one injury, one throw, one twisted ankle away from being out of the game that you've worked so hard to get to the top level. They've got to get it figured out, man. And I have no hope that they will.
Yeah, because their ratings are through the roof. It's the top ratings they've had in years for some reason. And I don't think the viewers or the listeners want top heavy and just the 4 good teams. I believe we are clamoring for parity around the league, but we're still watching it. So Major League Baseball is like, if it's broke, don't fix it. But it's freaking broke, Chris.
Well, there's a lot going on that is good for baseball, and I think one of the things that we talked about why hockey is doing so much better. I think it's a more watchable sport because the televisions are bigger and they're more defined. You can see the closeness of these pitches. I know, Vince, we could go all day on just the brilliance of the pitching and how close these balls are to strikes and not strikes. And it just takes you further down into the game that is so brilliant to play and to watch. And just took the kids last night to the Richmond AA team here, the Flying Squirrels for the Giants.
Yeah.
Great new ballpark. I mean, I get chill. I'm literally.
You like it? You like the ballpark, Chris?
Oh my God. I'm in love with that ballpark.
Really?
I'm in love with that. I'm in love with that ballpark. And I can't wait to go again. I just cannot wait because it was such a great night. And to the point of the work stoppage, the minor league guys are going to be okay. And I'm not going to miss a beat too much. I'm just going to go to the games more often here locally. I'd hate it for baseball, but you're right. I mean, you get guys like Bryce Harper complaining about a salary cap. Bryce, come on, man. I mean, how much do you have to make relative to the rookie guy coming up that throws the whole thing off? If you don't have a salary cap and bring more parity like they do in the NHL, how many teams are currently in the hunt for the playoffs right now that make it a fantastic sport to watch and engage in? It's insane not to have some sort of cap on this thing that's viable.
There comes a floor.
Get a floor in. Bring me a floor. I would love a floor.
Get in the middle.
No, the floor is for Bob Nutting.
Exactly. Make it real.
Or you have to get or you have to do things out of the box, like signing a 19-year-old before he's ever played, or he's only played one series of baseball to $140 million deal. I mean, and that shows you the difference in in between the teams and disparity here. We signed one player that makes what? I mean, Dodgers have 7 players that make more than Connor, and we are.
Mitch, I got to tell you, MLB is pissed off that he signed that contract. There is no way in hell that the Players Association is happy about that deal. And this kid is like, hey, man, I got to take care of my family.
Right.
It is crazy. Absolutely insanity.
Brendan, but it figures like the Pirates start getting a little bit better and then work stoppage next year, right? Is that what's going to – with all of our talent?
Yeah, that would be our luck. But I mean, we've talked about this many times. I think it is something that is necessary in the long-term aspect of the sport. I mean, we can't continue with the Yankees, the Dodgers, the Mets, the Blue Jays, all these teams just buying all the big name players. I mean, you look, the Pirates can never afford an Aaron Judge or a Vlad Guerrero Jr. They can never afford these players. So you're going to have the same teams dominating it. I don't think it's good for the fans. I don't think it's good for I don't think it's good for anybody outside those teams, really. It's going to ruin the sport eventually if there is not a salary cap like there is in every other professional sport, as well as a salary floor. So cheap owners like Bob Nutting of the Pittsburgh Pirates actually have to spend money once in a while to put a competitive team out. So, having a year off baseball may not be a horrible thing as long as they don't cave on this. There needs to be salary cap instituted.
By the way, Coach Vince, poor Jay over here is rebuilding Cardinals are 8-5 right now. Off to oh boo, oh my god!
Yeah,
can we give Major League Baseball a little credit? It feels like they're trying here, right? They've obviously trying to make the game a little bit faster. And now we have the ABS replay system, which has actually been pretty exciting in pockets. Coach Vince, I mean, there's purists out there that hate these moves, but it's making it more watchable at least.
Oh, no question. We remember, all 19 of the Yankee Red Sox games being broadcast during prime time during the course of a season, and those games lasting 4 hours and 30 minutes, on the sport. So to actually sit down and watch a game that's over in 2 hours and 20 minutes is nice. It really is. I mean, the clock has really played a big role in that. I was apprehensive at first, but I can see that it's improved the game. It's improved the game at the college level that we're at right now. Obviously, the video replay, the balls and strikes is a big part of it as well, too. But to getting back to what Jay was talking about with the work stoppage, would Major League Baseball and the Players Association please take care of the minor league players as well, too? I mean, the minor league players are the ones that are lost in this whole thing where they're basically, I don't think they were even getting minimum wage. Their main source of income was their signing bonus. And we've got to do a better job of financially awarding the kids that are in the minor leagues decent money. They're not having to live with a host family in rookie ball in low A, and take care of the young kids that are coming up throughout the professional.
Because when I was a kid, college baseball wasn't even a thing. All my friends that they went to the minor leagues right away. They weren't even looking at colleges. What's the landscape like right now? Is college kind of the old minor league system?
It's getting to that point. I mean, especially now when you see the major league draft, when, usually, I mean, yeah, there are high school kids taken in the first round, but the last few years, the vast majority of first round picks have been Power 5 or Power 4 type conference players. And we're seeing that this year where it looks like Rock Cholowski, the shortstop at UCLA, is going to be the #1 overall pick in the major league draft. And I had the pleasure of watching him several weeks ago in person. He's a baller. He'll be in the major leagues when he's drafted. He'll be in the major leagues within 2 years. This guy's legit. And the physicality, and you look at these Power 4 baseball conferences. I mean, the training that they have, the nutrition, all the things that are involved, they're getting probably better development at the big time Division I programs than they are in the minor leagues, because the minor leagues are kind of like just cast-offs where they're not getting
better money too.
Yeah, the money and everything.
You don't want that minimum. You don't want that minimum wage and living off 7-Eleven big bites. That sounds.
I mean, think
awful.
about it. The Dominican players that obviously are brought into the minor leagues, into professional baseball, they'll get a little bit of a signing bonus, but essentially that's it. I mean, their monthly salary in minor leagues is not that much.
No.
So,
all right, we got like a minute left, and this is a gambling show. Rapid fire. Everyone get a pick out real quick. Who? If you have one, go first. Brendan, you got one? I know, Brendan, you research. I know you. You're a research nerd over there. Give me a pick. I'll start. Penguins over Capitals. Take them. Book it down. It's -125. Could be the last time Ovechkin is in Pittsburgh. All right, go, Brendan.
Let's do 2. I'm going to be a homer. Penguins beat the Caps today.
Boom. Boom.
Pirates beat the Cubbies again.
Let's
today.
go. Let's go. Chris, where you going?
I'm going to stick with my pick, Rory, to finish out the Masters.
Oh, bold move, Cotton.
It was a bold move last week. No one said a thing. You're welcome.
I'm piggybacking on the stat man. Yeah, Pens and Pirates. Let's go.
Coach Vince.
I'm going off the board in the Masters. I'm going to take Tommy Fleetwood plus 1,800 to close this out. Come back and make it a tournament on Sunday afternoon.
Jay, give me a pick and hype up an intro to your show.
Oh man, well, I love Tommy Fleetwood. I've been I had two sleeper picks, Fleetwood and Patrick Reed this week.
Nice.
I'm not a huge Patrick Reed fan because he cheats a little bit.
Cheater.
And we've got a golf historian. I'm not much of a historian. This guy taught me a lot about golf course architecture and stuff on the show. So a really cool guy named CB McDonald designed a bunch of courses that we played, and I know we got to go. I appreciate you having me on.
Awesome. Jay Delson Golf Show next, right? Is that correct?
I think so, yes.
Oh, yeah, it's coming on. Hey, I want to thank all of our panel, all of our listeners, all of our viewers, Brendan Sattler, Jay Delson, Vince Maioka, Dan Hopgood, Chris Saxman. I'm Mitch Rogers. Enjoy Supreme Saturday and the Masters and Major League Baseball. See y'all next week.